Ready? 5 seconds. He also argued that the incident of abduction had not occurred and that the averments made in the complaint were false and concocted. Further, he stated that the explanation regarding the delay in filing the FIR and PW1 house was being watched by accused numbers 2 to 9 may not be accepted in view of the fact that she or her husband could have called the police using a phone which was admittedly in their possession. Per contra, the learned counsel for the state argued in support of the judgments of the courts below. Normally, the court may reject the case of the prosecution in case of ordinate delay in lodging the first information report because of the possibility of concoction of evidence by the prosecution. However, if the delay is satisfactorily explained, the court will decide the matter on merits without giving much importance to such delay. The court is duty bound to determine whether the explanation afforded is plausible enough given the facts and circumstances of the case. The delay may be condoned if the complainant appears to be reliable and without any motive for implicating the accused falsely. In the matter on hand, the entire family of PW1 was at the mercy of accused number 1, who was very rich and influential. Accused number 1, who was acted as a benefactor to the family and has helped them financially and otherwise on multiple occasions. Under such circumstances, PW1 might have been reluctant to lodge a complaint immediately after the occurrence of the said incident, especially when accused number 1 had employed his benchman to keep the house and movements of PW1 and her family under surveillance. Moreover, no material has been brought to our notice by the defense to prove that the delay in filing the FIR was with the intention of false implication. Thus, the explanation given by PW1 for the delay remains untainted. In our considered opinion, looking at the totality of the facts and circumstances, the trial court and the High Court were justified in condoning the delay and in concluding that the said delay was not vital to the case of the prosecution. In order to prove its case, the prosecution mainly relied upon the evidence of PW1 and PW2. By the time the evidence could be recorded for the matter on hand, Santha Kumar, the husband of PW1, was murdered. Therefore, the prosecution did not have the opportunity to adduce his evidence and consequently we do not have the benefit of the same. However, ample material has been brought on record to prove that the first accused used to unduly favor PW1 and her family and showed unwanted personal attention to PW1. Accused number 1 tried to taint Santha Kumar's image in the eyes of PW1 and also used to threaten Santhakumar with direct consequences if he did not keep away from PW1. The evidence of PW5, who is the brother of the second wife of accused number 1, reveals that accused number 1 had taken one Krutiga, sister of PW5, as his second wife, using the same measures and tactics that he was using against PW1. The courts have mainly relied on the evidence of PW1 and PW2 to conclude that accused numbers 2 to 9 had abducted Santhakumar and PW1 upon the instructions of accused number 1, though the trial court and the High Court have taken pains to assess the material on record meticulously in order to satisfy our conscience. We have evaluated the evidence of these two important witnesses in entirety to prove the crime. As mentioned supra, the most important testimony would be that of PW1, as she was also abducted along with Santhakumar and was confined in the house of accused number 14 by the accused. At the risk of repetition, we would like to reiterate a few important circumstances as deposed by PW1. PW1 has deposed in detail about how accused number 1 hoped to marry her and unduly favored her and her family. For instance, the deposed that when she was admitted in a hospital due to some illness, accused number 1 forcibly made her shift to another hospital under the pretext of better treatment and even gave her a mobile phone to contact him in case she needed anything. It is amply clear from the deposition of PW1 that accused number 1 even tried to convince PW1 that her husband Santhakumar was infected with HIV and had other health issues in a bid to discourage her from having sexual relations with her husband. He also came to the house of PW1 and proposed to her to live with him as his third wife and used to coerce Santhakumar to desert PW1 and reside elsewhere so that he could marry PW1.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.